Welcome back to the Blind Well, Guardian. It enables transit between this reality and the Ascendant Plane, using paracausal ley lines. Unfortunately, this gate opens both ways. Xivu Arath, Hive God of War, is trying to secure it for an invasion of the Dreaming City, so she can capture Savathun. We must hold this location at all costs. Glad to have you along, Guardian.
The compass points unerringly to your goals, and clears obstacles from your path by the strength of your will. It will discover our lost Techians, when you will it.
If we secure the Techians, and remove Savathun's worm, will that end the curse on the Dreaming City?
It's a necessary step, but unfortunately not sufficient.
With each ley line we restore, we get closer to our lost Techians.
And Xivu Arath's army gets closer to us.
My coven grows daily, but we must hold the Blind Well a while longer.
Between our light and your mystical knowledge, we're pretty unbreakable. Right, cousin?
I'm not your cousin, Lightbearer. We've got Taken incoming. Secure your compass before they arrive.
This place has such a unique vibration. The air hums with energy.
The paracausal forces that converge here are mighty. They will increase as you open more ley lines.
By stabilizing the ley lines, aren't we enabling Xivu Arath's forces?
We are. But we also enable our rescue efforts. Nothing is won without risk.
As Xivu Arath consolidates power, we're likely to face more coordinated resistance.
I expect the full weight of her force to land on the day of the ritual.
We'll be ready when it does.
We've got incoming. Keep your compass safe until after the shooting stops.
The Taken are mounting another attack. Push them back before they get entrenched, Guardian.
Does this ever end? Do Guardians really spend all their time going from one fight to the next?
That's the job, Crow. Most of the Vanguard leadership has been at it for centuries.
No wonder Saladin is so jaded.
The strongest Taken yield their essences. Retrieve them to close the rifts.
The Scorn will try to harvest ether from these dead servitors. The servitors will release the ether at regular intervals.
Scream.
Keep an eye on the harvester to anticipate it. Once the ether is released, destroy it before it gets to the harvester. Good work, Guardian. Paracausal energy readings are back to nominal levels. The Taken energy has dissipated. For now. We need to replace the batteries for the Blind Well's regulators. They're dense with paracausal energy, so it'll take teamwork to get them installed.
Shouldn't be too difficult. How heavy could they be?
The ley lines must be stabilized. Install the batteries to end this invasion.
I never knew something as small as those batteries could be so dense. And I thought Glint was heavy for his size.
Secure those Taken essences, Guardian. It's the only thing that will push them back.
The Scorn never learn. They'd be well served to find their ether elsewhere.
They're driven less by hunger, and more by a knife at their backs.
Xivu Arath is sending in Taken as shock troops, and holding Hive forces in reserve.
She hopes that the Taken will destabilize the Blind Well enough for a full invasion.
For a long time, we thought that the Blind Well led to your throne world alone, Queen Mara.
That used to be the case, until our new Techians cleverly repurposed it. In doing so, they opened the Blind Well to the rest of the Ascendant Plane. And Xivu Arath.
Xivu Arath's consolidation of Hive forces is almost complete. Even those on Luna now fall under her command.
It makes me wonder why everyone sees Savathun as the bigger threat. These batteries are heavy, Petra. A little teamwork will go a long way.
I'm not opposed to teamwork, if I trust my teammates.
The batteries are key to stabilizing the Blind Well. Stay close to the carriers and don't stop shooting.
Contained in those batteries are attractive targets for the Taken and Scorn alike. We need to keep a close eye on them.
As much as the Scorn disgusts me, I still feel a strange pity for them. I wonder why.
We've seen both Scorn and Taken in this area. That indicates at least a non-aggression pact. if not outright cooperation.
I suspect it's a case of mutual interests. Savathun is the enemy of everyone's enemy.
As strange as it sounds, we may have stumbled into a beneficial situation here.
How so? Your Techians are scattered and the Dreaming City is on the verge of being overrun.
Yes, but at least we're fighting on our terms. With Savathun as bait, Xivu Arath has come to us, on our field of choice.
Once the servitors release the ether, destroy it before it reaches the harvesters.
Good work installing the batteries, Guardian. The regulators are functioning normally.
If your compass led us here, then we're about to have visitors.
The compass operates beyond a level of causality, perhaps even beyond the bounds of time. It has what some might call intuition.
The servitors can't be damaged, but the ether they release can. Destroy it, and the Scorn.
There's Scorn inbound. It's unclear whether they're coordinating with Xivu Arath's forces or just taking advantage of the chaos. We can't risk them poisoning the blind well with dark ether. Let's clear them out. Xivu Arath's forces have infested this area. Their taken rifts are destabilizing the ley lines, making alignment impossible. Hold off the Taken as best you can. Once their leadership arrives, put them down and bank their Taken essence. That should close the rifts and secure the area.
The ley lines convey so much power. How can you handle it safely?
That's what the regulators are for. Without them, the blind well would be dangerously unstable.
Then I guess we'd better replace those batteries.
After we install those batteries, drop everything and open fire.
The Scorn are broken, and all that ether is lost.
Better to lose the ether than the blind well. Good work, Guardian.
The Taken are fleeing. I feel the tears in this reality slowly beginning to mend. But this will not be their last trespass. We must remain vigilant. Perhaps it is fortunate that Crow has spread his wings. I do not know how he'd respond to the Scorn after what Savathun has shown him.
Agreed. He needs time to come to terms with Uldren's involvement in their creation.
We must not allow the Scorn to harvest this ether. Destroy it.
Well played, Guardian. I'm sure Crow wishes he could share in this victory.
If that were true, he'd be here right now. Good work shutting down the Scorn, Guardian.
The timing of their mission is suspicious. Is this coordination with Xivu Arath, or mere coincidence? Xivu Arath claws at the fabric of this reality, forcing her way through. Protect the compass. I sense Taken rifts condensing. Xivu Arath's army will be here soon. Keep the compass safe, Guardian.
My Corsairs report increased Taken activity. Retrieve the compass and assume defensive positions.
We've got Scorn inbound, Guardian. Better keep your compass safe.
Well done, Guardian. The Reef-born, thank you. If we are to survive the coming storm, the Tower and the Dreaming City must stand united.
We'll hold the blind well together. As we open more ley lines, we can start exfiltrating our lost Techians.
Once my coven is reassembled, we'll exorcise Savathun's worm and put an end to her lies. Once and for all.
I've been to the Dreaming City before, but I don't know if I've ever really taken time to appreciate it until now.
There is so much more than you've seen. And all of that, it pales to what resides in the distributary. You could stay, if you wanted. I could show you.
I'm not sure the Vanguard would... I don't know.
There's no need to decide now. Think it over. You deserve to know your people's history.
We used to dream about this. Far-off kingdoms, queens, witches, mystic adventures among the stars. Remember, Crow?
They were only stories. It passed the time.
You wrote them down like in a book. I always kept the pages on you so Spider wouldn't find them.
Glint, enough.
My brother was a storyteller too. He spun the most fabulous fables for our people's children. I have copies in my library, if you like.
That won't be necessary. This would go faster if you give me an audience with her. She trusts me. She's smart. We could strategize.
You can speak with Queen Mara anytime you like.
I wasn't talking about Queen Mara.
I'll pretend you were. For your sake.
Petra, I heard you used to be a Corsair. That's like what? The elite Awoken Special Forces?
Yes. Before I became part of the Queen's Guard.
Ah, that means now you mainly guard the Queen?
It means anyone who threatens Queen Mara or the Reef will have to deal with me.
Makes sense. I don't plan on doing either of those things, so I should be fine.
Petra, what assistance has the Spider offered us in this endeavor?
None, my queen.
I am not surprised. When you're through there, we will discuss this.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. The Spider may claim to be the shore's only law, but there is one ruler of the Reef. It's time we remind him of that fact.
Going around.
How does it feel to be working with other Awoken?
Petra and Mara certainly are different than Zavala. They're a touch... prickly.
Can't argue with that. I just wondered if you feel more comfortable around your people.
It's a little hard to identify with magic people who arose from a paracausal black hole.
You've all lived through different hardships, but you might have more in common than you think.
Mara. Queen Mara, are you there?
Always.
I met an Awoken once who called me Reefborn. Said it was because of how I spoke and moved. I didn't really know what that meant until I met you.
I am not Reefborn.
Oh, I just assumed... I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Zivu Wrath is determined to destroy Savathun, no matter how much it costs her. Her obsession is beyond sword logic. This seems personal.
The bond between siblings surpasses any form of logic. I once had a sister myself. She was a Techian, just like those we're rescuing. She was killed in the rays of Amethyst. I still see her in my dreams and meditations. But sentiment has no place in this fight. Savathun understands that. I hope Mara does too.
Petra, is Queen Mara's magic powerful enough to keep us safe from Savathun?
Yes. Not even a hive god could break out of that prison.
That's a relief. And she's not going to get tricked or anything, right?
Glint, I trust Mara to keep her monster caged. And I hope you'll do the same.
Okay. Sorry, do you mean that you hope I'll trust her? Or that I'll...
You know exactly what I mean.
Thank you, Guardian. With your assistance, we may still be able to recover my remaining Techians.
They will have suffered during their imprisonment. Will they be strong enough to complete the ritual?
They must.
There's the Mara I know. Nails still black from brewing Queen's foil.
Stains like that never come out.
Mara, Zavala has asked I raise his concerns.
Yes, his concerns are all I imagine when I hear your voice.
He and Kaido have questions about the security of Savathun's crystal prison.
Oh, what should you tell Zavala and his little cabal? Tell them I raised a dragon. That I danced down the hilt of Oryx's blade. That I am Queen of the Reef. Ikora, I wanted to offer you my heartfelt thanks for your composure in this trying time. You had as much right as any to harbor anger for my brother's deeds, yet you stayed your hand when you learned of Crow.
The Vanguard firmly believed that who you were before you become a Guardian holds no bearing on your new life. My anger is my own, and Uldren Sav is dead.
Years ago, I asked your Guardian if they were satisfied by their vengeance. I would ask you the same.
No amount of vengeance can bring back the dead.
On this, we agree. The Queen in me always kept Uldren at arm's length, even if the sister in me yearned to be closer. Seeing him replaced by that guileless fool.
If I may speak frankly, my queen, Uldren was always a fool. He was too prideful to earn your acceptance. Instead, he tried to goad your affection through insubordination.
And now, on the other side of death, he returns as an obedient servant to another ruler. The Traveler has a sense of irony, it would seem.
We've never seen Hive utilizing stasis. Don't you find that strange?
I've never seen a warlock pull out a golden gun either.
You may be a smartass, but you might also have made an unintentionally good point. Perhaps something about the Hive prevents them from wielding stasis.
I don't think anything is that simple. But I feel like when we try to understand the darkness, we come up short. We're children trying to understand why the moon glows in the dark. We don't know what we don't know.
Does it bother you in the slightest to kill Scorn, Crow?
It does, actually. I feel a deep sadness for them. In a way, they remind me of myself.
That probably comes from your time with the Elixni. I think Spider still misses you.
The Spider, the Scorn, and now Sabathun. You're an atrocious judge of character.
I liked you right away, so maybe you're right. I don't care what Marasov thinks. This feels like it might be a bad idea.
I'm worried too, but she has all the leverage. Without her, Osiris, the real Osiris, may be lost forever.
If he isn't already dead.
We need to have hope. Otherwise, I don't know what Saint has left.
Petra, I just realized where I recognize you from. Spider's place on the Tangled Shore.
Could be. He and I worked together when our desires aligned.
What did he do to keep you coming back? Put a bomb in a friend of yours?
You know, he sent me a message recently. Something about bringing a bird back to its nest.
The Techians study both light and darkness, right?
They study paracausal forces in whatever form they manifest.
And they don't shy away from the truth, even if it comes from the darkness.
What's your point, Crow?
Savathun knows the truth about the Black Fleet. Why shouldn't we learn from her, even if she's a creature of darkness?
If you're counting on getting the truth from the Hive God of Deceit, you're already lying to yourself.
Now that we have a moment to pause, I would like to apologize for Crow's behavior. He should not have tried to gain access to Savathun.
I see my brother's boyish antics in his every move. He is a familiar pain.
He's also an outstanding guardian. His willingness to sacrifice himself to stop Xivu Arath, to save Zavala.
He is as brave as he is frustrating.
That he is.
Queen's Wrath, I have a directive for you. Watching the Guardian work, I have had much time to reflect. When we are finished with Savathun, you will prepare a detachment of paladins to depart for the Tangled Shore.
Of course, my queen.
When I give the order, you and your paladins will remove the Spider and all of his loyalists from the reef. Permanently.
Aside from her unfortunate conversation with Crow, Savathun has been a model prisoner. Don't you find that odd?
Savathun can scheme all she wants. Her lies end at the point of my knife. Behind the curtain of the universe lies the Ascendant Plane. Here, causality meets consciousness, and worlds are born. Go. Find our lost Techians and bring them home. Once more, we part the curtain of reality, and you step beyond. Journey forth, Guardian, and be bold.
The data in this cache is corrupted. The Hive tried to gain access by force. We spent ages keeping these lines clear. Then Xivu Arath gets involved, and suddenly we have waves of Hive breaking down our doors. The Corsairs and Techians had it under control. Even while facing an endless curse from a wish dragon, it never got this bad. This cache is mostly corrupted. Might have been pathfinding data. Xivu Arath's scouts have been this way. They probably tampered with it. I knew her forces were crawling through the plains, but if they're bold enough to leave stuff like this behind, it's like they're mocking us. She knows we can't stop her. She can flood the plains with endless troops, and there's nothing we can do but hold out as long as we can.
This is a Corsair wayfinding cache. Information on their search for me through the ruins of this place. To imagine my Corsairs looked for me, even here, that they gave their lives while searching through these crooked plains. A queen would not be humbled. I will add their sacrifice to the weight I already bear. This cache holds record of the Harbingers, ancient weapons we set to bear against the hive god Oryx. When we attacked Oryx's dreadnought, 3 Techians and I set the Harbingers upon him. It took all our powers to call forth weapons of such impossible destruction, all for naught. Now his sister awaits me, lingering in her crystal coffin. A move against her will not succeed if guided by force alone.
I recognize this place, even if it's changed. The data cache here has old combat logs of mine. At the beginning of the Dreaming City's curse loop, we held out until the end, but we were down to our blades against the Taken. We heard voices. A sea of awoken reinforcements surged at our backs. They came from a split in the plains. I thought we were saved, and then I recognized some of their faces. My Corsairs. Friends who had already fallen in the battle. The curse loop was starting over. I led the same friends to their deaths again and again. Let's keep moving.
This cache contains planar telemetry about an attempted breach of the Ascendant Plane from somewhere else. The paracausal can influence this place with thought, tie 2 ends of our world together with their willpower. Something ruptured this space with the power of its desire alone. This data cache was left by one of my Techians after the Battle of Saturn. It bears my name. She was trying to reach me through the power of her will. She entered this plane and summoned me. And she succeeded, after a fashion. Rest. Your queen has heard your call. This cache marks a memorial. Long ago, a Techion fell here. Not one you're searching for. She was much older. One of those who first forwarded the lines. A cartographer who gave her life to the void. She ventured into the unknown, and we knew the safe path only by how long her light lasted before it gave out. I may tell you her name someday. She was a friend. And now she is part of the stream. I will not allow Zivu Arath to defile her sacrifice. Take a moment to reorient yourself, Guardian. This cache is placed on a set navigation point, a landmark in the plane. Moving through these realms can be misleading. You desire something so badly that it changes. You hear it calling to you, but it is only a rippling mirage. Your desires twisting the energies of the plane. You can trust in those visions only as much as you can trust in yourself. This shrine is defiled by their presence. See that the orb they stole is returned to the mausoleum beneath the cathedral. This mausoleum is a memorial to a Techion, Mallory, the first wayfinder to traverse this ley line. Mallory was brilliant, like a star burning in the blackness of space, a beacon for others, aspirational. But it was her insatiable curiosity that took her life when she ventured into the Black Garden against my wishes, and never returned. A hive ritual. See that it is undone, Guardian. I sense other wizards, somewhere beyond the portals, maintaining this ritual. They must be stopped. The Hive sought to create a breachway between this realm and Zivor Arath's throne world? I am uncertain such a ritual could have succeeded. Zivor Arath must be desperate to stop Savathun. How unfortunate for her. A Hive fortress turned prison now opens its gates to you. When the Hive first invaded this realm, we imprisoned their undying emissary beneath this tower. Now you will do what we could not. The Hive infest the Ascendant Plane like termites in rotting wood, spreading out from the borders of their progenitors' throne worlds. To end the Hive, you must end them at their source, for without the worm gods, they are as fragile as glass. Taken infestations, spreading like a cancer through the ley lines. These need to be cleared. The source of this corruption is at hand. Find it, and destroy it. These wells once served as springs of ascendant energy, used by our Techians to sculpt structures such as this. Now they are barren parodies of their once noble purpose. One day, perhaps, they will shine again. So, the Scorn stage some sort of ritual combat? This is not of Elixni culture. Are they developing their own? These Scorn appeared to be in the early stages of developing some form of trial by combat. I'm reminded of your Crucible, Guardian. Mockeries of life, sloughing off the skin of their former culture. If the Scorn are learning, changing, what are they becoming? Scorn, harvesting ascendant energy with such simple, brute force. They must be stopped. It appears these decaying vermin have discovered a means to refine ascendant energy. The dark intellect of the Scorn is a cruel reflection of their former lives as Elixni. But to have reverse-engineered a process to refine ascendant energy, they could not have done this on their own.
Tread lightly, Guardian. This realm is still very much a mystery. We have no idea what else is out there.
The telemetry you're sending from the compass looks good. There should be a beacon nearby. Be mindful when navigating for the beacons, Guardian, lest you wind up lost as well.
I wonder if the Scorn's presence here has anything to do with Callus's horrific experiments aboard the Glycon.
Last beacon aligned. Be ready for anything. Beacon aligned. They'll have felt that. Be ready. The final beacon is aligned. I'm detecting severe paracausal emanations in your vicinity. Get ready. Well done. We've detected the Lost Techian's location through the beacon network. Bring her home.
Taken, Scorn, the Hive. Our true enemies aligned to a spearhead to halt our rescues of the Techians.
No mention of House Salvation or the Cabal?
House Salvation is in ruins. You saw to that. As for the Cabal, I am not worried about Empress Keitel. She and I will see eye to eye one day. But Callus...
I agree. Callus is a problem. We should discuss what the Vanguard found aboard the Glycon. In private.
It's over. The beacons have aligned and the rift is open. Bring our Techian home.
Awkward question, given the timing. Can someone fact-check my knowledge about the Ascendant Plane? Some of what I know came from Cyrus, and I'd rather be safe than sorry.
It's the backstage of the universe, Crow. Sculpted by willpower and imagination. What do they teach you in the city?
Mostly point, shoot, and jump. Ley lines. Why is this the first I've heard of them? Savathun never mentioned them. Not even when we were hunting Xivu Arath's High Celebrant through the Ascended Plane.
We awoke and understand many forgotten cosmic truths. The existence of ley lines is but one. Savathun knows of them too. But you expected the Witch Queen to tell you the truth. Don't be so naive, my darling.
What did you call me?
Excellent work, Guardian. We couldn't have done it without you. Our successes here are mounting, Ikora. We may not need as many hands as you've sent.
Are you asking me to recall the Crow back to the city?
You know this isn't a secure channel, right?
I'm pleased to report we've made more progress, my queen.
Have you detected any change in the Taken's activities?
Nothing that seems indicative of a pattern. They're continuing to throw themselves against the same dimensional faults.
I see. Keep me apprised of any notable changes.
Is there something specific you're looking for?
Whispers. From the voice in the darkness.
Another victory. It's nice to know I can be trusted to fight the Awoken's battles, but not make decisions for myself.
Why are you so eager to hurt yourself?
I'm not. I mean, I just want to talk to Savathun. I have questions. I deserve answers.
She is nothing but lies. She will only hurt you, and she will not feel regret about it.
I don't like being told who will and won't hurt me by people I hardly know.
I can feel the radiance of the beacons permeating through the Ascendant Plane. You have persevered in realms where others have failed time and again.
No cause for celebration yet. There's more work to be done.
Still, any measure of progress is to be appreciated, is it not, my Wrath?